Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the Truman Show. No, I have with me my good friend Tim Chilman, who's recently released a new EP. So I thought I'd get him recently, as in literally yesterday, as of filming this. And I've listened to it. It's fucking fantastic. Unironically, really great stuff. So well done.
Thanks for buying it too.
That's alright. I did buy it. Did you like my little message?
No.
Yeah, of course you did.
Very upsetting.
I'll put the message that I left him on screen. So I just thought I'd grab Tim down here just to kind of talk about it a little bit. I've got some questions lined up. But first of all, first question I have for you, so I will be reading from my phone here. How professional is this interview?
Very.
So, EP is called Rewilding, first of all, so links will be in the description for that. First things first, it's a bit of a kind of departure tonally from what you've done, at least the stuff that I've heard, for those of you who don't know, Branch Arterial, which is unfortunately no longer, and Warnings as well, which is unfortunately the same thing. So when do you think this piece of shit is just going to die in the ass?
This is my last go at it. And
last hurrah.
And it's a half-assed attempt.
Fair enough. Good man. No, so let's jump to one of the non-piss take questions now. So the songwriting process, because this is
straight to the jugular.
Oh, I had to. I was given no opportunity.
That's perfect.
Thank you. What was the songwriting process for this like? Because it's very acoustic kind of based. So was everything written on the acoustic initially, and then you kind of added the layers with the MIDI instruments and stuff?
Yeah. So the last song on the record was, I started writing about 9 years ago in Thailand.
Wow.
When I was sitting in a hut. So I started that then. I worked on that with a couple of singers over the years, and it just never really happened. So it's like, I like it and I need to use it. So that ended up being instrumental, and that totally went in a different direction to what originally I thought it would be. So that one's really old. The rest of them pretty much I wrote, apart from one, I wrote as soon as I bought my mate an acoustic.
Yep.
Like it's like that thing when you buy new gear. It's like you just play the shit out of it, and you end up writing stuff. It's happened every time I've bought new gear. Yeah. So that's where it came from. I think Racing Clouds, that was like the first thing I played on it, and I just liked the vibe of that, and then the melody just came from that. And then the rest of it was kind of just like smash out the bare bones and then like slap together two to four bits of songs, and then it's like, cool, I kind of tricked myself into writing a song, and then it's like all the other layers can just fall into place after that.
Yeah, so you said that about like you just bought that acoustic and then immediately these kind of things started coming
just
out.
like immediate inspiration.
So what kind of elements did the electric guitar bring into it? Because there's actually quite a fair bit of it on the record. Like, it's not just an acoustic campfire kind of thing. There's quite a bit of, it's quite a variety of stuff all over it. So the acoustic kind of had that little thing, but what spurred you to throw in those electric little things, because you've got like the Strat on Guy, and you've got was it the McCarty on the song with Chris Zupa?
That is in one of the solos in that song. It was, I think probably because the songs are so basic, like at the foundation, it was like, I need to make this more interesting. And so that's where the layering came in, I think. So obviously, I don't know, I just didn't, I really didn't explore more layers with acoustic so much. It was like, the rhythm, the lead, and then everything else is like the skin and the flesh and the clothes and the funny hat
and the so on and the so forth. The dressing up, as it was.
Yeah.
Awesome. When you do sit down to write a song, because I met Tim at university, so we both have the same degree, although he earned the degree much more than I did, I must say. When it comes to the theoretical side of things, because I did the same course content as you, how much of that plays a factor? How much do you sit down, write something, and then go, oh, I can, and you just get your analytical brain out and go, oh, I could do this chord here to make that move to this place? Or is it almost entirely just inspiration in terms of the songwriting?
Bit of both. Like, mostly it's the vibe. Like, I'm really trying to go for a vibe initially, and then when I get stuck, or I'm like, oh, what should I do here? That's where I might draw on some theory and go, okay, well, you know, I could harmonise this chord this way, or especially with the orchestration, like all the string sections, that's when I used like a lot of what I learnt in arranging at uni. So just sort of getting the right sort of voice leading going between the parts, that really came in handy there. Most of it though was really the bare bones of it was like just sort of immediate inspiration and just, you know, chords and ideas that just come to me straight away.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, speaking of tones and arranging and stuff, how did you actually record the guitars and stuff for this? Was this go through an analog rig, like go through your Messer, or with the Electric Tones Helix, or what was that?
So all the electric was done, I use the Helix as the interface, so that's just my DI signal, and then the rest of it was neural DSP plugins.
Oh, right, yeah.
So Nolly, archetype Nolly, and I might have used STL tonality for a song too, maybe, I can't remember. And but the solo in Tales from the Yukon, I used that Chris Buck preset from the Helix.
Yes.
So I originally did it with that, and then I was like, just for continuity's sake and for mixing, or my pre-production, I suppose, I tried to emulate that tone with neural DSP. So a little bit different, but it was good enough.
Yeah, cool. That might be hilariously one of the biggest fuck yous to the Helix ever, because you've got it on the floor and you're just using it as a DI to go in. It's like, well done, Helix. Yeah. Thank you for putting my signal into the computer. Well, I'm going to use the neural DSP stuff.
Yeah, but like, once you record with the tone on the Helix, you're stuck with that.
That's done. Yep,
you know, exactly. So I never use Helix tones and I don't do reamping. If I was reamping, I'd maybe, but it's just quicker and easier for me to have a DI signal and just listen to it and tinker with the plugins.
Yep, exactly.
But the acoustic was done with a Rode NT1A in my room, like with traffic driving past non-stop. So like, because we live beside a busy road, so like, it took me ages to get the right take, because it's like when you need a chord to ring out at the end of a song or whatever, and then a car drives past and you can hear this whoosh in the background. Or there's like interference happening somewhere and you can hear this like little static noises. It's like, no, try again, just did my best take, but and then you lose the whole project and you start again.
Tech issues. Did you have many tech issues doing this? Because I mean, this is
every time.
Fucking hell. Because this, I remember you sending...
Just because I'm an amateur.
But you sent Matt and I some snippets of this stuff. Fuck, mate, like pre-pandemic, didn't you? It would have been maybe 3 years ago.
I didn't have any of it 3 years ago.
Did you?
No.
Well, I'm full of shit. As we all know. actually.
Everyone who knows that.
That's not news to anyone who's watching this video. Everyone's like, yeah, you're a fucking dumb cunt. Next. Here we go, this is a good question. So, we've given the title Rewilding to the EP, I guess you'd call it, which is kind of this, for those of you who don't know, it's this kind of unobtrusive manner of nature conservation, basically just letting nature do its own thing, more or less.
Yeah.
And just go and you do your thing. So when did you first realise that you were just like a dirty fucking hippie?
Alright.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
That's all right. Oh.
You couldn't wait to ask these
No,
questions.
I've been busting for like 3 days to ask you these questions. That's alright, that's the end of it. That's the end of it.
No, it's not.
That's the end of the shit questions. I've got a couple of more legitimate questions. So, but keeping on the nature thing, this is a bit more of an esoteric question. Because you grew up in New Zealand, and where you grew up in New Zealand, super kind of picturesque. Do you think, have you always kind of had a fascination and appreciation with nature, or is that something that's kind of been more recent?
No, we grew up in it. Like, we grew up in the country, we grew up fishing, boating, camping, snowboarding, like climbing, all that kind of stuff. Because we're right in the heart of the Southern Alps, the Southern Alps. Man, it's been a while. I think of the Victorian Alps. So it's always been, a big part of our life. I guess I probably lost touch with it for quite a number of years, moving to Melbourne and like living in the city and living in St Kilda and doing bands and like just trying to be a part of the gig scene and all that. So that was really what took up my time in partying and gigging and stuff like that. So I didn't go out and do that stuff for a long time. So the last I reckon the last 3 or 4 years I've been getting like right back into that since getting older, and just not wanting to go out all the time. It's like I want other things now, and I think getting back into camping and nature and stuff is like really filled that void that was starting to disappear when I realised I didn't want to party as much. No, that's awesome. It's great to it is great to get out. Like over the course of the pandemic, like because you couldn't go out, whatever, when we were all in lockdown and shit. Like where I live, there's like a nature reserve just down the road and stuff. You've got a nature strip right outside your house.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Hang out in the grass.
That's great. Yeah, just make grass angels all day. Just lay there looking like some fucking vegetable. Someone drives past. What the fuck is this guy doing?
I was more thinking maybe the mould growing out of the gutter.
Oh. Are you implying that I am some unwanted growth coming out of the sewerage system?
Just one that people walk past and go, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a good impression of my parents, actually. Anyway, no. Cut deep, Tim. Cut deep. You said you'd started kind of writing and messing with Tales of the Yukon back like 9 years ago. When was the moment? Was it not Tales of the Yukon? What was the song that was 9
Coming
years
of
ago?
Spring.
Yeah, that's what I fucking said. Cut that out. So Coming of Spring was written 9 years ago. Yeah. Thoroughly researched.
Yeah.
But no, so that song was kind of written 9 years ago. When did you actually sit down and go, right, you know what, I'm going to write this EP? When was the moment?
I had Racing Clouds, and that was like a, I don't know, that just kind of, I can't remember how and when that really happened. That was sort of when I got the mate in, and that song came together like quite quickly, and I was like, and then after that I wrote Celestial Dream, which is my single from last year, and then it was like, okay, I've just written 2 instrumental songs, like maybe I could do a record.
Yep.
So that was kind of the time, and that was about 2020. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, because that's when I started to advertise for online lessons, so it was, yeah, and I'd written that song and used it for that promo video.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thus concludes my questions. I have no more. But I highly recommend you check out this release. It's fucking fantastic. The tones on it, the writing on it, the arranging, the production is just really, really, really good. I'm very proud of you. I think it's a sick release. So where can people find it?
Bandcamp?
Yeah, buy it, you fucking cunt.
Spotify from next week.
Yep.
So, well, whenever this comes out.
Yeah. I'll update.
Yeah, so it came out on Bandcamp yesterday being Friday the 12th, and then it's on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, all the streaming sites from Friday the 19th.
Yep, perfect. And, of course, Tim does online lessons, so if you do listen to the stuff and you want to learn how to play real shit, you can, of course, go over there. So I'll leave, are you cool if I leave your Instagram and stuff in the description of this? Is that cool?
Sure.
Cool. So I'll do all that. All the links will be in the description for Tim's stuff. Go buy it. Go listen to it. And yeah, please, for the love of God, just go to Bandcamp. I mean, I know Spotify's...
No biggie.
I'm sticking up for you here, Tim.
Thanks.
I'm sticking up for the little man, literally. You're lucky we're sitting down for this interview.
You haven't clocked you one yet.
But
you're about to wear this mug.
Oh, this is the fucking best interview of all time. No, it's great. But seriously, I do implore everyone to go check it out. If you've got any questions for Tim or whatever, just ask him. Bombard his email and his Instagram, and leave me out of it. So thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone. No, seriously, I appreciate it, and do go check out Tim's stuff. It'll be in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, cheers everyone.
Cheers.
Fucking nailed.